Such was the interest in this game between these two sides. The sold-out signs were up a week before kick-off at the Aviva Stadium. Munster made 10 changes with internationals Paul O'Connell, Tommy O'Donnell and Conor Murray back for this big game. Peter O'Mahony was a late withdrawal to be replaced by CJ Stander. A win for the Munster men would see them go back to the top of the table above Leinster, who fielded a starting 15 made up entirely of Irish internationals. Brian O'Driscoll teaming up once again with Gordon Darcy in the centre. Leinster looking for a 10th successive win in all competitions. But in a marvellous atmosphere, it was the visitors who notched the first points of the game when referee Alain Roland penalised the Leinster scrum. Tension between both sets of players very apparent even inside the first 5 minutes. But Ian Keatley kept his composure to land an easy effort. The first kick of the match for a 4th minute 3-0 lead. In the 9th minute, the Munster out half doubled that lead to 6-0. And then on 22, Munster awarded another penalty. Keatley making no mistake from just over 40 metres out, leaving it 9 points to 0. With 25 minutes gone, Ian Madigan eventually put points on the board for Leinster with his first penalty of the evening, bringing the men in blue back to within 6 points of Munster. But not long after that, the visitor scrum got the better of their opponents again. The referee's whistle blew, and Keatley kicked his 4th penalty of the game for a 12-3 lead. The out half proving on the big stage that he could land his kicks under pressure. However, a couple of minutes before the break, as Leinster pushed for a score, this time it was Munster who were penalised as the ref lost patience. Madigan fired the penalty over to leave it Leinster 6, Munster 12, after a first half dominated by the kicking boots of the two number 10s. 6 minutes after the break, Madigan brought it back to a 3-point game. Knowing they had an advantage, Rob Carney tried a drop at goal. No joy with this one. But play was brought back for a penalty, and when Madigan knocked it over, it was 9-12 in what was proving to be a close and hard-fought encounter. In the 51st minute, Madigan made it 12-all with another penalty. At this point in the game, Leinster were starting to get on top, and as Munster's discipline came under scrutiny, Dave Kilcoyne got into trouble for not rolling away. The home side close to producing the opening try of the game. Madigan's kick ahead with just too much pace on it for Darcy to reach. Simon Zebo tidying up for Munster. Back where the move began, Kilcoyne was the man picked out by the referee, who produced the yellow card as the men in red's penalty count was growing. 10 minutes in the bin for the Munster prop, and while he was cooling his heels, Leinster struck for the only try of the game. 57 minutes on the clock, and the home crowd raised the roof when O'Driscoll found Jennings, who did really well with a wonderful offload to return the compliment to O'Driscoll, who got over the line for a superb try. This was the number 13's first RaboDirect PRO12 try of the season, and a really vital score. The TMO was called to make sure O'Driscoll hadn't put a foot on the dead ball line. He was close, but the try was good, and at a vital time for Matt O'Connor's men. Madigan converted for a 19-12 Leinster lead. But Munster didn't lie down. Keatley landed 2 penalties to close the gap to 19-18. The second of those 2, another excellent long-range effort with just 3 minutes remaining. But it was Leinster who scored the last points of the match when Madigan kicked from the tee to leave a final score of 22 points to 18. It mightn't have been the classic game that the record crowd of 52,000 were looking for, but it was never less than tense, and Leinster have extended their lead at the top of the table. Munster must settle for a losing bonus. Final score, Leinster 22, Munster 18.